Hi everyone and welcome to a cozy spooky October video. I am so happy to be here today because it is just the best season in the whole world and so I'm so excited. So anyway, welcome to October. Welcome to spooky season. I am Heather and I am your host and this is Inkwoven Enchantment. I can't believe I almost messed that up. So anyway, today I wanted to tell you a little bit about September and all the crazy things I did and all the books that I read. So I started off September really late in reading. I kind of hit like a little mini reading slump, which is kind of normal for me because I put in a lot of effort into making sure I really enjoy something. And so, yeah, so I struggled a little bit, which is totally fine. I finally kicked into gear and picked up Calabasas by R.F. Kong, and this book was amazing. Like, so delightful. I enjoyed the story so much. It was so human. And I think, like, the thing that I loved the most about it was just that it took you to another place, another realm entirely. But the lore that it built off of and the way it was told, it wasn't just the story of the underworld as told by uh like Greek philosophers or something like that. It wasn't just based off of the Divine Comedy. It was truly an amalgamation of religions and how maybe all of those are actually the same and maybe the underworld is actually the same, which I thought was fascinating. It also very much integrates so many things about so many different uh, like human mentalities. I'm not describing this very well, but the story was just so human. It starts off with a girl wanting to go and rescue her professor from the underworld, and you're really not sure why she's in this situation, but it gets so much better from there. You realize the regret that each character has, the growth that they need to go through, the struggle of being other in a world where other isn't the most accepted. Oh gosh, everything is a mess. Okay, that should be slightly more even now. Sorry about that. So, yeah, I loved Calabasas. It was really, really good. After that, I don't exactly remember which order I read things in, but I know I soon after read the, hold on, what's it called? The Grimoire Academy Parent Teacher Association? The Grimoire Grammar School Parent Teacher Association. This book was fantastic. I actually picked it up at the airport on my way to a work trip where I visited Stockholm and Denmark. We'll talk about that a little bit as we keep going through. But anyway, I picked it up at the airport because I knew I had some books with me, but I just wasn't feeling them. And I needed something to break up that slump. So I picked it up and I read it like basically in one day. um, because of when my flights were and when I actually landed and my final destination. I think it technically spanned 2 days, but it was really complicated and I did get delayed, and that was okay because I had this book. Um, it was, again, really human, really funny. I loved the main character, Mom, who really just wanted to belong. And I feel like that's such a human thing of just wanting to find a place where you can belong. And so I loved that. I really enjoyed the very human relationship that the mom and the dad were going through in the story, and just the challenges of raising a child, whether or not it's in this magical situation. Um, it's really hard. I wouldn't know for sure because I don't have children, but I hear from all of my friends that do that it's really challenging. There's a lot you have to consider, and there's a lot you have to do to balance all of that with your partner. And so that was really fascinating for me. I really enjoyed the read, loved it. After I finished that, I had think a day-ish where I wasn't super hardcore reading, but I did pick up a magical Innkeeper's Guide, in Innkeeper's Magical Guide. Oh gosh, I'm really bad at this. I didn't prep. I just wanted to sit and record. Anyway, it's one of the books that everyone's been talking about lately. A Magical Innkeeper's Guide, a guide to magical innkeeping, something like that. Oh man, I feel miserable that I can't even see it on my bookshelves, and I know I finished reading it. So that's fun. I'll find it later. But anyway, it's super cute. It was A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. That's what the book is called. Anyway, so we got there. It was about a witch who kind of accidentally ends up working at an inn through lots of issues with her parents, and she also ends up losing her magic because she has to revive the only person who's ever really been her parent, her aunt, from death. And so when she does this, it causes this crazy spell, it rips her apart, and she has to revive her aunt, and she loses all of her magic. So it's really interesting because a lot of the story is about how do you find your magic, and to be honest, it's not really about the magic at all. It's about everything else. It's about how do you find your passion? How do you find the place you want to be? How do you find the love you want to have? How do you foster an environment where you are welcoming and open and loving and kind? And this book really nails all of those messages. It helps you see that it's okay if you're different, if you're neurodiverse, if you have different wants, if you're LGBTQ, if you decide every day you want to dress up in a suit of armor, like a full suit of armor, that's awesome, and that you should embrace being who you are. I truly think this was a fantastic story, and if you haven't read it yet, because it was definitely one of those books that everyone read last month, but if you didn't read it last month, please do yourself a favor and check it out. Then I started the books that I've been kind of eagerly anticipating. I read The City of Brass and The Empire of Gold back to back. Did I read those two? Or was it The Kingdom? Is it City and then Kingdom? Oh no. Hold on. I read these two books. They were brilliant. One moment. I know this is book 1. I read this, The City of Brass. And then I read book 2. Oh, okay. I was wrong. I read The City of Brass. And then I read The Kingdom of Copper. Oh yeah, totally. This was definitely the next cover I read. Anyway, I loved these. They were so good. 10 out of 10, 5-star. If I could rate them higher than 5, I would. These books, oh my gosh. So a couple of things that I love about these stories. 1, it's magical. It's kind of magical realism. It's set in the same universe as The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi, which you will have known if you've been watching. I absolutely love. It's one of my top 5 books to get to know who I am. But honestly, I might have to swap it out for the rest of her books. They're amazing. So one thing that I love about these books is, again, like Catabasis, it is not the standard witchcraft, fairy realm, gods and goddesses that we all are familiar with from kind of like American institutionalized knowledge. It is about a whole other culture, much more Arabic, and it's beautiful. The devas are intense. The magic system is phenomenal. The way that these characters interact is fantastic. It feels so on point for the culture, for the place, but it's also something that's easily understood and digestible by somebody who's not familiar with that culture like myself. And I just love that. I love that I was able to go to another place and see another thing while being stuck in a book. I also happened to be in a lot of airports at this time and being on planes, and it was nice to be grounded in this other story, as strange as that sounds. I freaking loved it. The writing is fantastic. It's brilliant. The plot is twisty but fun. The intrigue is all there. The politics are all fantastic. The amount of knowledge that you as a reader have about what's happening, and the other characters don't know. It builds suspense in such a perfect way where you know so many things might happen. You truly do, but you're not sure. You're not sure how it's going to play out and if the timing is going to line up for everyone who's thinking about doing all of these crazy, insane things. I loved it. Have I said that yet? I loved these stories. I've actually been putting off reading the final one, The Empire of Gold, because I'm nervous, y'all. Like, I don't want this story and this world to ever end. And I know there's a plan for more adventures of Amina, and I found out that her adventures actually take place long before the City of Brass trilogy. And so I'm nervous. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to this world. I don't know how this is going to end, but I love it. And I'm in a little bit of a reading slump right now because I don't want to pick it up, and I kind of don't want to pick anything else up either. I just want to live in this moment where things are chaos, but everyone's alive. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I truly love these books. If you haven't read them or if you've been thinking about them, please pick them up. Just do it. It will be worth your time. It will be worth your energy. And it will be worth your brain power to power through and not cry at every single moment where something kind of goes a little askew for the main characters. So while I was reading these books, I mentioned most of the time I was actually traveling. I didn't get a lot of reading done when I wasn't traveling, which is kind of normal for me, honestly. I love traveling because I get to go, I get to do my job, and then when I disconnect, I get to do whatever I want. I'm not beholden to a whole other schedule. Typically, I am pretty booked in for work things until late at night, but it still gives me an hour or two when I get back to my hotel to debrief, to relax, to get into another space and stop thinking about work. And so I really enjoyed that I got to read these. But the other thing that happened is that I did get to go to Billund, which is the headquarters of Lego. And so I actually have this really cool build behind me that I haven't made yet for the Lego house architecture set. I'm so excited for this. I got to tour the Lego house, like the official Lego house, and it was really, really lovely. The historian telling us all about the history of Lego was so cool. I didn't get to go to the new Lego Masters experience, though I hear that's legit. But I did get to be served lunch in the cafe inside the Lego house. And the thing that I thought was so fun about this, honestly, is I'm such a nerd. Well, one, it was fun for the image recognition software to look at the colors of your Lego that you put in and then align that to the meal that you wanted and then to verify that with you. Like, that was really neat. I loved that. The mini house lunch was really cool for that aspect alone. Then you get to get up when your food is being served to you, and these robots will put it on a cart and triage it down to you. And when I saw these robots at first from far away, I was like, oh, those are cute. Like, they're kind of cute and dressed up like Lego, and that's adorable. But then, when I actually walked up to them to get my food, I was so enamored because these robots were actually the same kind of robot that I used to program. They are AVV robots. They have these really cool gray nodules on them, on all these different parts that make it so that they are human safe robots. So if there's ever a human in the way, those are sensors. And so they will stop the robot from continuing its action to make sure that you don't get into a tricky situation. These robots are pretty easy to program. They are actually the reason why I like doing some video work and some animation work now in my normal job. And it was so cool to see like this piece of my past. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of other people's presents because these robots are very usable. And I used it for something super silly but super similar. I actually used it to make coffee as part of a demo. And so it was really fascinating to see them being used kind of in a more actual industry space to serve food. So that was super neat. If you ever have the opportunity to visit the Lego house in Finland, I highly recommend it. It was such a great experience. The whole city is also just like one of my top 10 favorite cities I've ever been to. It was so low key, so clean, so safe. Like I was just walking around and I didn't feel worried about anything. There was an adorable little school that was in session, and I had to walk past it to get to the rest of the city. And they were on like a outside break or something, maybe outside learning. And they were just having so much fun, and it was just so light and bright. And I just needed that. I needed that reminder that the world is okay sometimes. It can be beautiful, it can be wonderful, and it can be a place where we all go and have a little bit of fun. I know the world feels like it's on fire right now, but I just want to let you all know that that's okay. It's okay that the world's on fire. You can take a break for yourself still while you're putting it out, because we can't put out all the fires in the world unless we take some time to relax for ourselves. So that's what I did. I read these books this month. I got to relax, and I truly, truly wish for all of you that as you get into this crazy fun month of October with all the spooky crafts that you might want to do, all the spooky reading, creating costumes if you haven't already, I know I have some work to do there, to remember to take a break for yourself. It's worth it. And so with that, I just want to wish you all a very happy October. I hope it's a wonderful one and that you get to enjoy your life and enjoy this season. And I'm hoping and praying that the stories that are told in these books, the stories that are told by us, the ways that we communicate, that we can continue to work towards a better world, a world where we're not so panicked all the time, a world where we don't have to escape all of the time, and a world where art and literature continue to be treasured. All right. Happy October, friends. I'll see you in the next one.